time. And Canadian, yes, expanding, getting an orbital command, getting marauders into these bunkers, defending as best he can, because look at this huge force from Jicabou, and there is the proxy pylon. Pylo number 2, maybe. Very similar stuff happening here. And these Dark Templars, ooh, that's a pretty nasty little force there. If he can get a turret down right here, he will be perfectly fine. And a turret going right there at the cliff, those Dark Templars will be no problem at all for these siege tanks. If they try to move up or back, yeah, gonna hit him very hard. Oh, that's a very strong hit, but these charge lots are going to work here. Is he going to push? No, he's going to fall back with his force very quickly. Very beautiful missile turret there, just completely denying that. But we do have Dark Templars in his main. Unfortunately, there are missile turrets all over the place. Ooh, wow, did he actually take out all of those SCVs? I do not see any at the main. Looks like a little bit of a double-pronged attack going on there. And there are missile turrets all over the place, so these siege tanks are just going to chase these Dark Templars around. I don't think he's going to be able to get any kills. I'd imagine both of these Dark Templars are going to get taken out. But wow, actually taking out a siege tank with 2 of those Dark Templars. And Canadian starting to get a little high on minerals here, not using those mules as efficiently as he should be. Up to 800 minerals. And Jicabou hit 1,000 minerals there for a minute, so both players getting a little bit panicky, a little bit thrown off their game in this tournament. I mean, 1,000 minerals, 300 gas for Jicabou there. Both players obviously a little bit shaken up, and another missile turret going down for the Canadian. He really needs to add on some extra barracks. He's only running off 1 right now. 1 starport and 1 factory, so if he loses this army, it's going to be very slow and very hard to replenish. He really needs to get some more production buildings up there. Meanwhile, Jicabou really needs to do exactly the same. He needs to add on these warp gates like he's doing now and getting that robo facility. Both players playing fairly well, but getting thrown off their game. Jicabou has no forge, so he has no upgrades. Looks like Canadian just dropped a scan on the base. He's going to see a ton of warp gates coming in, and double forge now. Now that that expansion is down, he's going to go double forge and hopefully get some real fast upgrades. Still no infantry upgrades from the Canadians. Still no armory. A Thor up on this high ground would complement these siege tanks so very well. But it looks like both players are going to try and macro back up. And nothing else happening right quite yet. An observer is into play now, so Jicabou is going to get a little more scouting. Canadian is just held in his base right now. He cannot do very much of anything. And where are those SCVs going? Just poking their heads out just a little bit. And it's going to be very hard, I think, for Canadian to come back from this unless he starts pushing out with these tanks and sieging up right here. Really needs more production buildings. And finally, dropping a barracks, putting a tech lab on that starport. It looks like another barracks is trying to be created, but I think he might be blocked off there. A fusion core. Very interesting. Where is that armory at? You do need one for fusion core, do you not? Maybe I'm confused here. But maybe we're seeing, I mean, the only thing that could mean is battle cruisers from the starport. Is he going to get out maybe an early Raven for a point defense drone? It would certainly help with these stalkers. But that is a lot of zealots. Shouldn't be too much of a problem with these siege tanks on the high ground. They can just pound away while these zealots are trying to kill these bunkers. We'll see what happens. It looks like Jicabou probably going to look to push real soon here. Just keeping an eye on these siege tanks for one thing. And that fusion core is just about to finish. Are we going to see battle cruisers? He really needs to get some kind of units on the field, sitting at 2,600 minerals. And Jicabou sitting at 1,000 minerals, so both players getting thrown off their game completely. Tons of warp gates here, just doing nothing. Jicabou just about to get supply capped, as well as Canadian. Going to be real close here. It might just come down to that final push. And warping in more units here, Jicabou, very nice. He should really be thinking about putting some cannons here. Maybe putting a cannon up here if he can get a warp prism out. Just, if he's got this huge army ready to push, he really needs to be looking to defend. And now the Canadian taking a third base, trying to get this hidden expansion way up here in the corner. Very nice. If he can pull this off and get an orbital command and drop a bunch of mules here, if Jicabou does not scout that, it could be very, very beneficial. Meanwhile, it looks like Jicabou is looking to take his gold. He's got some zealots down here, so if Jicabou takes this gold, it will completely cancel out this hidden expansion from the Canadian. And 2 battle cruisers on the way. One is just about to finish. And yeah, really, really big armies from both players here. A ton of siege tanks. Just trying to turtle up as best he can to hold off this huge army. If these one observer here can get these stalkers to blink up into this army, and these tanks will start hitting each other. Very scary stuff if he actually comes up with a play like that. For right now, looks like he's just holding back, finally taking his third, and that gold is going to help immensely. And now we have armor level 2 as well as weapon level 2 being researched. As soon as these finished, if Jicabou chrono boosts these, which he really, really should, there's no reason not to be at very low chrono boost levels with your Nexus, those energy levels. He really needs to chrono boost these out just so he can make that push. But I don't know. If Canadian doesn't get some kind of upgrade soon, it's going to be pretty close here. Still no upgrades for any of his units, tech or otherwise. And a nice ball of Marines here, but sitting at